Hello and welcome. If you haven't seen my other video, my name is Jeffrey and I have Crohn's disease. In my last video, which was my first, I talked about what Crohn's disease is and basically my journey through it throughout my life and what's been entailed with it. And I got a bunch of responses back from it, all positive. And one of the things I had asked during my video was what people wanted me to talk about, what they wanted to learn about Crohn's disease. And in that feedback, as well as talking to people online, what I heard most was people wanted me to talk about the diet I'm doing, which is gluten free. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. Now, you're probably thinking, what is gluten? All right, start off, gluten is a chemical that's found in wheat, barley, and rye. What it is that it's a chemical that, I guess the best way to describe it is when you're making bread and you have that dough, sometimes you can stretch out that dough. Well, gluten is what gives that dough the elasticity. And a lot of people are allergic to it. You probably may have heard of celiac disease, and that's an allergic to the gluten and to wheat. So whenever you look up gluten free, you're going to see a lot of things about celiac disease. I don't have celiac, I have found that gluten has helped in my Crohn's disease. And how I came about this was earlier this year, and end of last year, I was really bad in a really bad flare. I was going 30 times a day, was having a lot of pain, a lot of cramping, and I'm the type of guy that never believed that diet can help you. I mean, I love food. I would never even thought about changing my diet. People would ask growing up, oh, you have Crohn's disease, that means you can't eat certain foods? And I'd be like, nah, it doesn't mean that. I just have to watch what I eat. If it affects me, I don't eat it. No, I refuse to change my diet. I refuse to believe that diet played a role in Crohn's disease. So earlier this year when I gotten really sick, I had a little mindset change. And I was doing a lot of research online. I was searching for some answers to find what I can do, because apparently none of the medicines I've ever been on seem to be helping. What I was eating definitely wasn't helping me. I needed a solution. And one thing that kept popping up was gluten-free. A lot of people quit eating gluten and found that it helped. And I'm guessing part of it is that by getting rid of that gluten, the intestines aren't working so hard to digest food. I can't speak tonight. So by not working as hard, taking out that gluten, it's not working as hard. Your intestines relax a little. It's giving time to heal itself. It doesn't have to work as hard. So I thought, all right, maybe I can do this. I know it's just going to be a little hard because, I love bread. I love my wheat products. Almost everybody loves wheat and bread, and that's probably one of the biggest things I thought I was going to miss. Just think about it. When you go out to a restaurant, what's the first thing they give you? It's a nice bowl of bread. And I looked at it going, wow, I'm never going to be able to do that again. I'm never going to be able to eat bread. So, of course, I'm wrong on that. But there's so many products out there that are gluten-free. And I did some research. So when it was time to stock up my pantry and kitchen and figure out what to eat, it was actually going to be pretty simple. And I'm actually going to go through some of the products that are out there and talk a little bit about it. Tell you what I usually eat for meals. So to start off, for breakfast, I usually, during the winter time when it's cold, I eat hot cereal. And then when it gets warmer, like now it's springtime and summer's coming, I like to eat a cold cereal. So one of the first ones out there, which you can find almost probably everywhere around this in any supermarket, is Chex. There we go. All the Chex cereals, with the exception of wheat Chex, is gluten-free. And of course, whenever you buy a product, make sure it says gluten-free. If it doesn't say it, odds are it's not. A product you may think is gluten-free may actually be processed in areas where there's wheat products, so they can't call it gluten-free. Another cereal I eat, I switch back and forth. I eat a couple different types of Chex. This one I got in Whole Foods. It may be a little hard to find. I'm sure you can find it online. It's the Nature's Path. This one's really good. Now, see, what I like about this, it has so many different grains to it. It has corn, rice, flax, quinoa, buckwheat, and amaranth. And what I'm finding by going gluten-free is I'm eating a lot more different whole grains than I used to, which is a good thing because whole grains are good for you. That's one of the things you should be eating. So I never really ate a lot of whole grains. I never agreed with my Crohn's disease, but by cutting out the wheat, I'm finding it can actually tolerate all these grains a lot more. This is one of the best cereals out there, in my opinion. I don't have it with me, but the hot cereal, again, I usually eat oatmeal, and oats are naturally gluten-free, but you have to be careful. Read the labels. Make sure it says gluten-free on it, because most oatmeals that are on the shelves these days are not gluten-free. Reason for that is that either, well, most of them, the oats are grown in the same field as wheat, so there's a lot of cross-contamination, as well as it being processed in the same plants as wheat is. So again, they're not going to be gluten-free, even though oats are. So you want to make sure it says gluten-free. What makes that gluten-free then is where the companies that are making those are growing the oats in its own field, nowhere near wheat, and they're processing it, of course, in a facility that isn't processing wheat. So for lunch, for dinner, I mean, it's all different options. Of course, the best is make your own foods. That's always the best options. Cook your own foods. Don't eat processed foods from the freezers. For me, for my lunch usually is a salad. Usually I get some deli meat. I mean, boar's head, it's gluten-free. I'm sure there's a lot of other are out there that are gluten-free. Slice that up. I add some cheese, get a gluten-free dressing. It's satisfying. It's healthy. It's delicious. I can also do sandwiches. A lot of gluten-free breads out there. Again, meat, cheese. It's gluten-free mayonnaise, mustards. I mean, a lot of mustards and ketchups and stuff, they're all gluten-free to begin with because there's no wheat products in it. But again, mustard is a little tricky. Sometimes there is wheat, so you just want to verify that it does, the bottle say gluten-free. If you're going to go with frozen meals, I'm going to show you some of what I eat. One of them, Amy's, makes a lot of foods that are gluten-free. This is one of them. It's a vegetable lasagna. Again, nice, healthy, a lot of vegetables. We have, this one I like, Evol. Hold that up. I haven't found any of their main meals yet. I know they have some wraps and stuff like breakfast. Those are not gluten-free. The only thing I found to be gluten-free from them so far that I can find are the bowls. What I like about this, it's going to be good because Evol, backwards, is love. So these are made with love. Some others, there's a lot of pizza. If you like pizza, there's pizza out there. This one is a spinach and feta cheese. I actually had this for lunch today. It was delicious. Very good. If you like pasta, there's a lot of different pastas out there. This is one of them, made by Char. There's all different types. It says penne. They got spaghetti. There's a couple of different types. For pastas, there are some made from, from quinoa. That's a big type of pasta. This one that I have here, the Char, this one is made from both corn flour and rice flour. And there's also ones that just use rice. I mean, Chinese use a lot of rice noodles in their diets. Now, the one thing I like about a lot of these foods, I know I was saying don't eat a lot of processed foods, frozen normally are bad for you. A lot of these foods here, they're all natural. There's really no chemicals to these. And I'm noticing that about a lot of gluten-free foods is that there's not a lot of chemicals added to it. A lot of stuff is all natural. And on top of that, a lot of it is organic. Amy's here. All the vegetables in this is organic. This one, the cereal, again, organic. There's a lot of stuff here. I mean, just take, for instance, the penne. Ingredients: corn flour, rice flour, pea protein, peas, natural, mono and diglycerides. And this one, the Evol, it's organic brown rice, chicken, teriyaki sauce, evaporated cane syrup, it's like a sugar, honey, cornstarch, snap peas, broccoli, carrots, bell peppers. Everything is natural. There's not one chemical in this. So if you are looking now to make your own meals, now I had said when I first made my first video that this was going to be more for guys, and I kind of went away from that a little. So, but if you're a guy, I mean, first of all, if you want to make your own stuff, you can always buy books. I got one book here. It's 100 Best Gluten-Free Recipes. One book, 100 recipes. Can't go wrong. There's 1,000,001 cookbooks out there. And you know, if you're a guy and you think, oh, I can't do gluten-free, there's going to be probably a lot of fish and just boiled chicken and stuff. And that's not true. Almost any meat product out there is going to be gluten-free. Yeah, some of the recipes in here for all you men out there. You got a grilled mustard marinated flank steak. That sounds good. A chipotle grilled steak. Here's one that I love. I haven't made this recipe, but I used to love this before I went gluten-free. Barbecued baby back ribs. You can't go wrong with a plate of ribs. With a plate, side of corn with you, some mashed potatoes. That's a nice meal right there. And what goes best with a nice steak? Beer. Now, of course, you can't really drink beer because it's made from wheat. Don't worry, guys. You can still drink beer. There's a couple of different beers out there that are gluten-free. Some of them are actually pretty easy to find. The one I found is Bard's Beard. Bard's Beer. Not beard. And it's a lighter, it's more like an ale. I used to like Sam Adams, a nice hearty, dark beer. Can't drink that anymore. So I gotta settle with what's out there. But this one is actually pretty readily available and it's very good. Now, while I'm talking about drinks, alcohol. A lot of you may like to drink hard alcohol, vodka, rum, gin, all that. Now you gotta remember, things like vodka, a lot of them these days are made from wheat, not potatoes. You got your whiskeys, which are made from wheat and barley. You might be thinking, oh, I can't have this now. You can still drink. I was just actually reading on the web about a week ago that a lot of the hard liquors, or pretty much all hard liquor, still the way they distill this whole process, there's no gluten in it. It takes it out. So even the whiskeys and stuff, there's no gluten to any of that, which is good if you like alcohol. Same is true with wine. There's no real gluten in wine. The only thing you have to be careful is how they age the wine, because some of the barrels, because the type of wood they use may actually have gluten in it. So like Chardonnay usually is aged in oak barrels. Now that oak barrel may actually have some gluten within the barrel, which is going to seep into the wine. So unless you can find wines that say gluten-free, or that they're aging those wines in, I think they use like steel and aluminum barrels now, that overall wine should be fine. Now, when it comes to snacks, you may be thinking, oh, I can't really snack on anything. Well, you can snack. There's a bunch of different stuff. They actually have gluten-free cookies, crackers. One cracker I actually like, and it's made from nuts. It's the Blue Diamond Nut Thins. And there's all different flavors. This one is barbecue. They got a cheese. They actually are made from different types of nuts. This one was almond. They make them from pecans, there's hazelnuts, and these are very tasty. I actually eat them straight, just as a cracker. Of course, you could add cheese to them, different meats if you want to, salamis. Nothing wrong with that. For desserts, if you like chocolate, most chocolate out there, it's just chocolate, it's cocoa. That's going to be gluten-free. One thing I actually like is Zen soy puddings. I mean, there's a lot of puddings are gluten-free. I actually think this one is the best because there's no dairy to it. It's soy milk. And actually, that's going to lead me to another thing. Because a lot of people also with Crohn's disease are lactose intolerant. So again, you can enjoy your pudding with this because no milk. But if you are going to have milk, especially with like the cereals in the morning, if you don't like to have regular milk, you don't like the lactose-free milk, there's almond milk, there's soy milk, they now have coconut milk. Just be careful, read your ingredients. I was actually looking a couple of weeks ago, I was on antibiotics, didn't want to have dairy to upset me because that would upset my stomach. So I went looking around and I saw soy milk. Like, I like soy milk, makes a good latte. And most of the soy milks I was looking at, whichever one I picked up, said gluten-free. I never took two thoughts about it. I said, okay, it makes sense. It's just soy. Well, lo and behold, I was wrong. Wound up having some soy milk that I did not look at carefully. And after I had it, a couple of hours later, I happened, just out of curiosity, to go look. And I looked at the ingredients and saw that some of the stuff, like the ingredients, were actually derived from both wheat and barley. And I looked at going, are you kidding me? So please, read. Gotta look at the ingredients and make sure it says gluten-free. Because pretty much everything that is gluten-free, even if it makes sense that it is, it's going to say it. Now, if it doesn't say gluten-free and you're thinking it should be a gluten-free product, that's where you got to be careful, because that means they're probably processing it in an area where gluten products and wheat products have been processed. So to recap, there's just a million and one different things out there. There's so much food out there that's gluten-free. There's breads are out there. Again, you got Char, makes a lot of product. They make a lot of breads. Udi's, UDI, spelled UDI, it's Udi's. They make a lot of gluten-free products. They're actually very tasty. Ones that make this pizza, Glutino, they now make a bread. It's actually, I don't care for the white bread that much, but their whole grain is really good, and whole grain's better for you anyway. So that's about it. Again, love to hear your comments, your feedbacks. If you have any questions about a gluten-free, feel free to ask me. My contact information will be down below. Make sure you subscribe, and if you just wait another couple of seconds, at the end I'm going to put a bunch of websites so you can explore about gluten-free, and hopefully if you can try it out. If you have Crohn's disease and you've been flaring, try this out. It just may work. I'm not saying it's going to work. I know it helped me. It may not help you, but it's an idea, it's a thought, and again, I'm here to help people. That's why I'm doing these videos, and I just don't want people to suffer like I did, because I didn't have access to a lot of the information growing up. It's out there now. Utilize it. So take care and have a good day.